Families feel very unsupported during this time, and it's a very worrying time, especially with elderly with late-stage dementias, maybe end of life. Families are telling us that when they raise legitimate care complaints, while the issue is initially dealt with, if these are reoccurring, then they are found to be served a shock eviction notice.
When a care provider tells you that it's not in your dad's best interest to move, then the next day they serve notice. We just went into a spiral of panic because we didn't know what to do, where to turn, who to speak to. It's very traumatic. It felt like we were getting shut out. It felt like our opinion didn't matter. And it still feels to this day that we've lost a piece of dad in terms of he's declined and we haven't been able to support him. I personally feel like I've let him down. And I also think, we all felt isolated at the time. It's created mental health for issues for some parts of the family as well that have had to struggle with and come to terms with what's happening.
I've been campaigning for better care in care homes, care home evictions. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I would love to see it debated in Parliament. So please write to your MP, tell them about your experience so that we can all discuss and debate this in Parliament.
I think what we have to do is we have to look at the rights of the families and the elderly themselves. We look at private housing tenants, what they were afforded during the COVID pandemic and the protection that they were offered. That wasn't afforded to our elderly in care homes. We were seeing elderly being evicted with sometimes 7 days' notice, and that we see as being absolutely unacceptable.
In the medium term, what I would like to see is some reflection on how the sector is operating, how the market perhaps is operating, so that it encourages, in fact, makes it a requirement that families, providers and statutory agencies work in a more relational rather than transactional way, and that becomes rational behaviour in the sector and is rewarded and encouraged.
A lot of care homes are saying, we're going to evict your loved one because of their challenging behaviour, and that's quite a big umbrella, challenging behaviour. You need to break that down a bit. It's about communication with families. And if you rewind it even further than that, it's about technology in care homes. Without the safety monitoring, without all this technology, it is literally the family's word against the staff or the management's word. Safety monitoring is the voice of the resident.
For me, the takeaway is information. When families are faced with their loved one being evicted, first thing they're going to do is research the subject to see what their rights are. I've done that on a number of occasions. There's no easily accessible information. So government can put together on the website the information that families could turn to immediately, even if it's just a gateway for them to research further.
Fortunately, Jane and CCFTV really helped us.